So hello guys, and welcome to another Nintendo Direct prediction video. And while the Direct was originally announced back in May, we should have confirmation about when this Direct is going to happen now that we're posting this video. So we're pretty close to the Direct and everything, but basically we're going to go through our predictions for the Direct here, and this time it's going to be a little different than we had it set up last time. Like, last time, we had, like, likely outcomes, somewhat likely outcomes, and unlikely outcomes, but this time, we're gonna straight up predict what's gonna be in different parts of the Direct, and what's gonna be in this Direct. So we've discussed for a little while about what is gonna be in here, but we have a general idea. Some of these are pretty likely, some of these are kind of wild card predictions, which is kind of fun to have in predictions sometimes. But yeah, Anton Retro will be joining me here, but
hey everyone.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the Direct opens up, and we have an announcement for the Fire Emblem 4 remake. I think that's Genealogy of the Holy War, and we get like that, I'm not sure what style it will be in, but it's likely going to be developed by Intelligent Systems, because apparently this has been finished.
And probably Koei Tecmo as well.
Yeah, possibly, but I feel like this has been finished for quite a while now, due to like all of like the rumors and things that have been happening. I feel like this was probably developed partially at the same time as Fire Emblem Engage. I'm not too huge on like the Fire Emblem discussion and everything, even though I have played Engage. But that's probably what I'm guessing, and it makes sense that they would kind of reveal this first. Like, Nintendo usually does kind of reveal, like, sort of, like, interesting, yet somewhat low-key announcements around, like, the beginning of the Direct, I would say. They tend to do this, like, so Fire Emblem would make probably the most sense to be the opener for this one.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think they have, opened up a Direct with Fire Emblem, or maybe even a few times. And I think Fire Emblem Engage was an opening.
Engage was an opening one. I think even Three Houses might have been an opening one. I might be wrong though. It was in the middle of one of the Directs. I kind of forgot, but I know it was like a significant announcement in one of the Directs. But I think this could definitely be like an opening announcement. I don't think it would be like an ending announcement. I'm not sure. Like, I think Fire Emblem, while it is popular, I think a new game would have been like kind of like the ending announcement. But I think a remake of a Fire Emblem game, I don't think that warrants that kind of placement. But yeah, I think like a new Fire Emblem game would probably open the Direct. But yeah, moving into the spotlights, I think we're, like, after that, there's probably going to be, like, a couple very, like, small third-party things. And then, my next prediction is that we'll get into Mario Party, which I'm predicting will release in late October. And also for the Fire Emblem thing, I forgot to mention, I predict early October for that one. But for Mario Party, it's been leaked like multiple times. So, like, we have like a few different things kind of either leaked about this or kind of pointing towards this happening. It's been 3 years since Mario Party Superstars, and Superstars came out 3 years after Super Mario Party, which that game released 3 years after Mario Party 10. So there seems to be a cycle with console Mario Party games that they come out every 3 years. So I think this fits very well in the cycle. And Nintendo also tends to release Mario Party games pretty late in a console's lifespan, like Mario Party 9 on the Wii, Mario Party 3 on the Nintendo 64, or Mario Party 7 on the GameCube, or Top 100 on the 3DS. They all tend to release pretty late in that console's lifespan, so I think Nintendo would definitely be okay with releasing a Mario Party game, like, late into the Switch's lifespan. And for
especially, like, I would say Mario Party has been a very big success for the Switch, so it makes sense they'd want to put another one.
Yeah. And I'm thinking what they would do with this. I think they would probably bring back the classic formula, but like add a new gimmick to it. I don't think they're gonna throw out the superstars in Super formula. Well, kind of kind of bringing back the classic formula because that's been so successful.
Yeah, no car.
Yeah.
No car, please.
Yeah.
Well, unless they make Mario Kart Party, which would be an interesting style, but let's hope they do something good.
Yeah.
I mean, the later Mario parties for each system haven't really been. I mean, at least the racing systems haven't been the best, have they? Like the last Mario Party for the 3DS, or the last Mario Party for the only Mario Party for the Wii U, or the last Mario Party for the the Wii. Those weren't always the best, but I think we could get one of the better Mario parties.
Yeah, I think the only reason for why those weren't very good was because they were still doing all the weird stuff with Mario Party at the time. They were still in that, like, kind of dark era of Mario Party, I guess to put it best, but now we're kind of seemingly in a better era for Mario Party, so I feel like they're probably going to improve the classic formula and kind of do something with that. Since Super was successful, Superstars is also successful, I don't see any reason to kind of go back from that, but yeah. So next up is a headline, and I think it could be Hi-Fi Rush. I know the studio shut down recently, which is very unfortunate, and it's definitely very unfortunate that Microsoft has been shutting down these studios and everything. Just like a very bad practice, I would say, but I still think that Hi-Fi Rush could be ported over to the Switch, and I think the reason why it didn't happen back in February was because they didn't have it ready yet. They did have it ready for PlayStation, which I think probably would be a little easier to port from Xbox, but I think for Switch it might have taken like a few more months, since that has happened for like a few like ports and things for the past. But I think Hi-Fi Rush, I think that's like kind of possible now.
Yeah, there was I think some leaked stuff about that a while ago, and not only that, I believe there was some info about it having like there was a specific Switch like T-shirt in the game or cosmetic or something. So
yeah.
So I think it's very likely that we're gonna see something about that soon.
Yeah, but moving on, another headline is Pikmin 4 DLC. So Nintendo over the past year has been tweeting quite a lot about Pikmin, and Pikmin 4 also sold pretty well. So I don't think they're going to back down from their kind of push of Pikmin. I think they want to push it out as much as possible. So I could see them doing some DLC for Pikmin 4, like possibly a new area, new Dandori missions, and new caves. And this could potentially release in July.
Yeah, I think that's actually a good point to bring up, that like, they've been pushing Pikmin a lot. I think Pikmin 4 still has a lot of stuff they could do with it, and considering Pikmin 5 is going to be in who knows how long, I think it would be a really cool thing to see some sort of DLC.
Yeah. And I think like a year after release isn't too long, because Nintendo has been handling like Pikmin content quite differently from like other series. It's not like, oh, we've passed the threshold of when they could do DLC. No, I don't think that's the case for Pikmin. I think they could really do it at any time, honestly. And I think they might have waited to do it because of all of the games that have been releasing lately. Like with Mario and everything. They wanted to put the spotlight on Mario for a little bit, but then they could... Now they have a little room to release that DLC, so I think that would kind of make sense.
Also had its DLC as well. So
yeah.
You've already got that, so I think it'd be a perfect time to put Pikmin 4 DLC out for the summer. I think that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
And we gotta have some Pikmin, We need more Pikmin.
Yeah.
So I'd be excited for that.
So next up, we have a Box Boy collection, which would be a Shadow Drop, and this would be the thing that HAL has been working on. And this would include new content, maybe like some new stages that are kind of like added to it and everything. And I think that would be pretty cool, since we do have Box Boy plus Box Girl, the new game on the Switch. So I think it would make a lot of sense if they added like the other games and kind of like ported them over. I think that would be pretty
games
cool.
Nicely remade, and not only nicely remade, but also I'd like to see them go back and improve the existing stages. Maybe there's things that they can make better and improve them. Because also the one thing as well with the game is that each game kind of works differently. From playing it not too long ago, like some of them have different collectibles, so they can maybe streamline everything a bit more and make it easier to like know where everything is. And not only that, I think they can do a really good job of just making it more feel like a collection, like a sort of celebrating the series. I think that's something that'd be really neat.
Yeah.
Give it like a nice physical edition. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. But moving on, the next spotlight is a very wild card prediction, but it's Virtual Boy Wario Land Remake, and this would release in September. So I know this one sounds very unlikely, but hear me out on this one. Nintendo hasn't released a lot of Wario Land games on NSO, and I mean at first you'd think, oh, maybe they'll remake like Wario Land, like one of the original ones, or Wario Land 4, but kind of looking into it a little more, it seems like Virtual Boy Wario Land would be a more interesting one to remake, since that's like the only Virtual Boy game worth playing, and it would be kind of like an opportunity for Nintendo to kind of like bring that back and kind of like show something like, oh, hey, we remembered the Virtual Boy, we remembered Wario Land. Because, I mean, there was a lot of vocal support for Wario Land a few years ago, kind of like Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. So I think, like, Nintendo could have been getting some of that, like, feedback and everything. That, because it seems like at some point they have to bring back Wario Land. It's definitely, like, alongside, like, F-Zero or some of the other franchises that they actually have been bringing back recently, or like Advance Wars. That's another one that actually did come back, but it's one of those that has been kind of brought up lately. In Virtual Boy Wario Land, just like there were also like rumors years ago about like them originally like developing like a 3DS remake of it, which would have like probably been like the best place to remake it. But, like, imagine if that one rumor from a few years ago was actually true, and they actually, like, kind of rebuilt it for the Switch and everything. That could possibly be, like, one of the projects that Grezzo is working on, even though Grezzo might be working on a new 2D Zelda game, which I probably wouldn't think would happen this year. But if they are working on something else, it might be like another remake, and I think Virtual Boy Wario Land would be a pretty interesting game to remake, and I think it kind of makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, honestly, I'd love to see some sort of Wario Land game, even if it's a new game, but I do think a Wario Land Virtual Boy remake would be really cool to see, and it would help develop a lineup of this year.
Yeah.
And as well as like another 2D game, and we haven't got a ton of those, so it'd be really nice to see it. So I hope we do happen to see Virtual Boy Wario Land.
Yeah. And I thought another funny thing they could do is like repackage the Labo VR thing into like a Virtual Boy Switch makeshift thing you could make for
the
this.
authentic experience.
Yeah, like I think that would be really funny if they packaged it like either with the cardboard or like a plastic version of it, and kind of like sold it with the physical release. I think that would be really funny if they did something like that and actually had like a 3D mode you could do with that. I think, I know it might be probably be unlikely, but that would be really funny if they did something like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
So the next thing that I would say is pretty likely is a batch of Nintendo Switch Online games for both Nintendo 64 and GBA. Like, I think they've already gone through, like, their roadmaps from a while ago. So it kind of would make sense for them to do, like, a new roadmap between, like, this year going into, like, early next year.
Mm-hmm.
So
That'd be a good idea.
yeah, I think we could.
It's a lot of
possibly
games
see
we
that.
don't know about. Like
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers. Like where's that? That seems strangely absent.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of things like Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong 64, even on GBA. There's quite a lot of them. Like we were mentioning like Wario Land. Wario Land 4 isn't on GBA, and then like there's quite a lot of others too. But it seems like they might do like another roadmap here, and I hope they are a bit more specific about it. Though they probably won't be, as usual. So I cut out this next section of the discussion because we recorded this at the beginning of June, and certain information came out about a certain leaker, which was pretty controversial, and they ended up being pretty problematic. So I do not want to mention them in this video, but during this section we were talking about the Dragon Quest III remake and how they will handle that. That might be shown in the Direct, maybe not, but I think it's worth mentioning that we didn't really want to go into the details here. I feel like we're probably not going to get a ton of information about this game here, but it might be mentioned. That's Sonic and Shadow Generations. I think we could maybe get like a short trailer, like some footage of it running on Switch and everything. It might be saved for Summer Games Fest, like with the footage that could be shown there. If like, I mean, by the time we're recording this video before Summer Games Fest has happened, so it might have been shown there, but they might get some footage like of it like running on Switch or some additional details and everything.
And they're gonna show some extra information about Sonic X Shadow X Mario Generations. You know, they're gonna add some Mario content in there.
Yeah, but this section might be a bit outdated, because we are recording this at the very beginning of June. So, like, if it was shown at Summer Games Fest, maybe we could get, like, a little snippet of it in the Direct, maybe in a sizzle reel. But, yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
But next up, for the next spotlight, we have one that has been rumored for quite a while, and that is Zelda, Wind Waker, plus Twilight Princess.
Yeah, this one feels like it's been constantly brought up every single year by quote-unquote industry insiders to say, yeah, it's happening this year, the holidays,
Like,
just wait. And then the Direct happens, and then the next Direct happens, and like, yeah, it's happening, don't worry, just trust the process. And then it's like the next year and the next year, and it's like, yeah, okay.
This is the only time I could see it plausibly happening, because we're so close to the next console now. It definitely makes a lot of sense to do like a Zelda re-release now.
It's free money. It's Nintendo. It's just free money. You don't have to do much.
But yeah,
just change the games a little bit. I mean,
and with this, I was originally thinking they'd do like a shadow drop, like Pikmin 1+2, and like sell them separately. But I was thinking like Nintendo never does that with Zelda. They always treat Zelda with some sort of prestige. They always do that. Like, no matter how low effort the Zelda release is, they always have to do something with it. Like, they always have to give it, like, it's so weird. Like Skyward Sword HD had very little effort put into it. Almost, like, arguably less effort than Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. And they treated that as if it was, like, a grand, big, epic remake, when it really wasn't. So, I have no doubt that they're going to treat Twilight Princess and Wind Waker as, like, some sort of big thing. Like, I definitely see that happening. I could see them selling it for $70, which I wouldn't say is terrible for both of those games together. I mean, it is 100% going to be controversial. if they release those like for $70, like for both of the games together, because I mean people are gonna be like, oh, we're getting these ports for $70. Like, I don't know. I would be a bit mixed about it, because like you are getting 2 games in there. They would have a value of $35 each, which would be a bit better than like their price on the Wii U, because I think they were like $50 on the Wii U. So I mean that would be a little cheaper. But the fact that they are like remakes that are, or like remasters that are almost a decade old at this point, and they would just be repackaged on the Switch just together for $70, I think it would be a little controversial. Imagine if they sell it for 80 USD, like even more. Oh my gosh, I could see Nintendo possibly doing that. Like, they could pull something.
100 Canadian dollars.
They could do something pretty
crazy.
I could see Nintendo pulling something controversial with this. They always do with Zelda.
They just need a little controversy. Like, I feel like we haven't had that much controversy except for like stupid stuff like, oh, this game is unplayable, it's 30 frames per second, and it's just like, how many games have been 30 frames per second on the Switch? But okay,
and really
beyond the point.
The only thing, like, really the only somewhat controversial thing is like Luigi's Mansion 2 looking a little underwhelming, but like that's about it.
But how many people are really complaining about that? I see no one talking about that game. It just kind of exists.
But yeah, but whatever they'll do, there's definitely going to be something controversial that happens with it. I have no doubt. But finally, with the ending of the Direct, I could see Metroid Prime 4 possibly getting a teaser here. And I'm thinking it could possibly get like a CGI trailer, like no gameplay, and a release date for 2025. And no mention of the Switch 2 yet. It could be a Breath of the Wild situation, or Twilight Princess situation, where they initially announce it for the previous console, but then do like a kind of a simultaneous release for like both consoles and have it like at launch of the next console. I could see that possibly happening. But yeah,
I could definitely see that happening. I mean, who knows how many games they're just holding back, right? Like, they've been very, very careful. We've seen time and time again how they don't like to rush stuff, and they like to hold stuff back, so that way, if something happens, or they decide to swap things around, they can always make changes, right? We've seen that time and time again through 2020, 2022, they've swapped games around. 2023, you know, was a bit more, you can tell they had a kind of a plan throughout the year. But, you know, now it seems like they're really trying to slot things where they think makes sense, right? Tears of the Kingdom and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, even Metroid Prime Remastered, we're all finished way in advance, so...
Yeah.
So who knows what other kind of stuff we could see this in this Direct that they've been holding out for a while.
Yeah.
Releasing.
But if it was up to me, this Direct would have 2 things. Super Paper Mario port and DLC for Thousand Year Door Remake.
Luigi's Adventure in the Waffle Kingdom.
But yeah, anyways, I think that's kind of a solid lineup we have that we were discussing here. I think like it seems kind of realistic. I mean, I guess Virtual Boy Wario Land is kind of out there, but I do expect at least one like out there thing like for the end of the Switch.
They always surprise us. Like if we look at the, you know, the Direct in 2021, you had 2D Metroid, which was surprising, you know, but then you also had Advance Wars, which is something that we didn't really expect, right? So there's always something like another code that was kind of something that is a bit out there that you don't expect.
Even Thousand Year Door existing is like crazy. Like we would
an actual remake.
We never saw that coming. Like in Super Mario RPG as well.
Yeah, if you told me that, oh wait, like in a year from last year, that you tell me that, oh, you'll be playing a full remade version of Thousand Year Door with all these quality of life improvements, and it looks better than ever and plays better than ever, I'd be like, No, that
You're crazy.
what?
You're,
You were
you're
insane.
delusional. That's never gonna happen.
Like one of the characters in Thousand Year Door says, "I spit at you."
But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to, and make sure to subscribe to Anton Retro as well. Goodbye!
See ya.